What's going on, Jerome's? This is a beautiful Tuesday, and Super Wildcard Weekend is finally in the books. And it was the best of times, it was the worst of times for being a Vikings fan. Now, I understand, being a Vikings fan, a loyalist, a faithful, watching other teams win and lose on Wildcard Weekend and taking pleasure in the pain of other fan bases. I fully understand that that's schadenfreude, but I feel like half of being a Vikings fan is Schadenfreude, just taking pleasure in other people's pain. Like if you listed the 10 greatest games in Vikings franchise history, half of them are going to be Packers losses to other teams. You could say that that's a little brother syndrome. Don't care. It's how I get through the day. But recapping Wildcard Weekend, as well as taking a look ahead towards the divisional round. So on Saturday, Browns, no call, no show against the Texans. But you love what D'Amico's doing. You love what C.J. Stroud has done in his rookie year. And Will Anderson is a stud. Nico Tank Dell, when he gets back, is going to be great. And Laramie Tunsil is one of the best left tackles in the game. And Houston, I feel like they finally got it right. And, I mean, I think they're going to run to a buzzsaw this weekend against Baltimore, but I think the future is very bright in Houston. I think the AFC South is going to run through H-Town for many years to come. And C.J. Stroud, man, he's awesome. And for the Browns, I mean, at a certain point, injuries do catch up with you, and Flacco did turn into a pumpkin, back-to-back pick sixes. It was kind of rough. But Stefanski and company, they had a great year. They weathered a lot of adversity. They played some great ball down at the end, especially Flacco. So hats off to them. Pretty solid season. The Dolphins. Hey, so remember like mid-season, just before mid-season, when it was Tua, it was Jalen Hurts, and it was Dak Prescott as like the 3 MVP candidates. Yikes. But the Dolphins offense couldn't get anything going. Defensively, they were down 5 starters, but you couldn't tell. Like, if someone told you that one side of the Dolphins team was missing 5 starters, you couldn't tell if it was offense or defense, but they couldn't get anything going. They didn't run a single play inside the Chiefs 25. Kansas City was eyed. They were fine. The elements didn't necessarily impact things for them. They ran the ball with Pacheco with a plum. Rashee Rice had himself a bust-out game. Kelsey got his. So the Chiefs rolling on and into the next round against the Bills, which will be fun. On Sunday, so unfortunately, the greasy, grimy Green Bay Packers went in and put the bang thing on the Cowboys. And it's crazy that the Packers have won more playoff games in AT&T Stadium, JEROME World, than the Cowboys. But I think heads are going to roll. Mike McCarthy finally won a big-time playoff game for the Packers. But Jordan Love, I think Jordan Love might be a problem. But the Packers are the first 7 seed to win since they expanded the playoff format a couple years ago. And the Cowboys, I mean, they're breaking records. They have won a playoff game in almost 2 decades. And also they're the first team in NFL history with 3 straight 12-win seasons and have not advanced to the conference championship game. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. But a lot of question marks in Dallas. Is Dak the guy? Is Mike McCarthy going to be back? Who knows, man? Who knows? But the Packers, I'm just glad that they're going to get yeeted in San Francisco. Then the latter of the Sunday game. So the Rams marching on into Detroit. Matthew Stafford getting booed. His family getting booed. His wife getting booed. His kids getting booed. Everyone's booed. All right? But the Lions, they do come out on top. Now, of course, this wouldn't be an NFL weekend if there wasn't some questionable officiating. And was Puka held on the last one? Yes. I think he certainly was. But sort of is what it is. And also, Kirby Joseph of the Lions going low on Tyler Higbee, just like he did with Hawkinson. And remember, the Rams were driving on that drive, getting in the field goal range. And you would think that losing a top 10 tight end and a guy that Stafford's very comfortable with over the middle of the field, do you think that would be just minor impact at the end of the game? But the Lions, I understand that everyone, it should be hyped up. It's like, the Lions haven't won a playoff game since 1991. Blah, 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 blah. No. I mean, the fans need to enjoy this brief moment in time because they're losing Ben Johnson. They might lose Aaron Glenn. And Dan Campbell, I like a lot. But at a certain point, the message of coach like that, it runs thin. And you can get players and humans motivated for a hot second, but after that you have to have some substance. I mean, look at Zimmer coming in like a tornado, changing the culture, and then all of a sudden it got stale. I think things eventually will get stale with Dan Campbell in Detroit, but we'll see. And yeah, again, Sunday was not a good day for Vikings fans, where the Packers won, the Lions won, and everyone's feeling good, and all the national media jabroni haircuts are just giving them a little handy on Monday with all the coverage. Please. Child, please. I mean, again, where was all of this media coverage when Kirk Cousins led a game-winning drive in overtime on the road in hostile territory in New Orleans, hitting Kyle Rudolph for a touchdown? Where was that? I don't know, man. I don't know. Then Monday, things actually turned around a little bit for the Vikings. Now, I mean, the Bills, I'm sort of whatever. The slobbering that Josh Allen gets from the media, I'm just sort of over. And also, people complain about Mahomes, always pissing and moaning about calls. What about Josh Allen? Josh Allen might be the biggest flopper in the league. Like, he gets his cues from LeBron. It's just, I don't know, man. But the Bills get it done at home. Steelers, they're undermanned, undergun. No T.J. Watt. They had Mason Rudolph starting at quarterback. I mean, they're plucky. They're in the middle of the game, but Mason Rudolph threw a red zone interception, or an end zone rather, interception early in the game, and they couldn't capitalize in a couple spots. And it is what it is. But now the Bills take on the Chiefs in the division round. It's almost like the NFL wanted that. Who knew? Who knew, man? Then lastly, the Eagles. I love it. Again, the whole Schadenfreude is in full effect, but the Eagles, who were flawed, and they started out 10-1, they ended up 11-6, and everyone and their mom knew that even though the Bucs were underdogs at home, which is ridiculous, the Bucs are playing some good football right now. The defense is legit. Respect to Todd Bowles and company, and the Buccaneers got things done, man. And Baker, Baker struggled at times, but also he got enough done, and I actually do think that maybe the Bucs will roll with him next year, and maybe the former number 1 overall pick in 2018 has found himself a home. Who knows? But the Eagles, the downfall is precipitous, and that just shows you how much a year-to-year league it is, where everyone's crowning the Packers and the Lions as the top dogs for the future. But look at the Eagles. I mean, the Eagles are not an old football team per se. I mean, maybe in the trenches, sure, with Graham, Cox, and Kelsey. But overall, they're a youngish team. They got a young franchise quarterback with Jalen Hurts, and they were in the Super Bowl last year. And outside of some questionable officiating in the Chiefs' favor, maybe they win the Super Bowl last year. But now, I mean, they're looking to tear things down. Like, the Eagles fans are legitimately wondering if Jalen Hurts is the guy. Nick Sirianni might get fired, and it's crazy, man. But respect to the Bucs, and also big time respect to Todd Bowles, where everyone and their mom just sort of wrote the Bucs off after Bruce Arians left, after Tom Brady retired. But 3 straight divisional wins, 3 straight division titles with Bowles, and that defense is looking really damn good. I mean, big time respect. And now looking ahead to the divisional round. So you got the 4-seed Texans at the 1-seed Ravens. That's what happens with wild card too, because you forget about the Niners and you forget about the Ravens. It's like, oh yeah, they're pretty good too. You got the dream matchup. You got the Chiefs at the Bills, and the only reason that this game is flip-flopped and not in Arrowhead is because of Kadarius Toney lining up off sides. And then you got the Bucs and the Lions, and then the greasy grimy Green Bay Packers and the San Francisco 49ers. And the current odds, or opening odds rather, from our guy Ben Fox, NFL divisional round lines on FanDuel Sportsbook. AFC Texans are 8.5-point dogs, over under 46. I like the Ravens, as well as I got to crunch the numbers of some of these totals. And then Bills and Chiefs. Bills are favored by 2.5. Kind of wait it out. So you bet favorites early, you bet dogs late. Try and wait out to see if the Chiefs can get a field goal. Then I'm in. NFC, you got the Packers at the Niners. Again, bet favorites early, bet dogs late. I'm definitely hopping on the Niners right now, minus 9.5 before that moves to 10. I think San Francisco wins pretty handily. And then you got the Bucs and the Lions. Lions are 5.5-point favorites. 5.5 is sort of a wonky number. Like, maybe you could wait till it gets to 6, which is, I mean. It's not a key number, but it's all right. It's fine. But overall, I kind of like these matchups. And I've said before that divisional round weekend is the best because, yes, you have fewer games on wild card, but you have the best teams, so you got the 1 seeds, and then the rest of the teams already won playoff games, ostensibly against good teams. And 3 of the 4 games are rematches from the season. So only the Packers and the Niners haven't played. The Lions played the Bucs in, what week is this? Doesn't matter. Mid-season. The Lions won in Tampa 20-6. Must have been week 6. Doesn't matter. Baker did not have himself a good game. It was rough. The Buffalo Bills, of course, played the Chiefs on December 10th in Arrowhead, and of course it was the Kadarius Toney offsides which decided that game. And then you had the Texans and the Ravens. Actually played Week 1, C.J. Stroud's debut in a 25-9 loss in Baltimore. But of course, C.J. Stroud, he ain't a rookie anymore. And in that game, Stroud was 28 of 44 for 242, 0 touchdowns, 0 picks, but 5 sacks. And yeah, it's safe to say that his game has progressed a little bit. Now, I still like the Ravens in this spot. The Ravens are my Super Bowl pick, so I'm riding or dying with them. And for the Chiefs and the Bills, I don't really care. Like, if it's the Chiefs, fine. If it's the Bills, fine. I know that people are over, the Mahomes and the Kelsey and the Taylor Swift bit. I'm kind of numb to it. Frankly, a little bit more annoyed by all the Josh Allen hero worship as of late. But if it's Mahomes, fine. If it's Josh Allen, fine. But either way, the Ravens are going to boat race them in the AFC title game and go on to win a Super Bowl. Now, for the Bucs, I feel like the Bucs do enough where it's going to upset the Lions. And it's hard to beat a team twice. It's generally impossible to beat a team three times, but that's only in divisional cases. But, the Bucs, the front seven and that blitz, they're able to get home. It'll be a chess match with Ben Johnson. Can they disrupt Jared Goff? Can they move him off the spot? I think they certainly can. And they have the pass rush. They also have the DBs to be able to match up with Amon-Ra and company. And, can Baker and Mike Evans and company and Rachaad White, can they make enough plays on offense to keep that Lions offense on the sideline? It's possible. It's possible. And for the Packers and the Niners, people forget the Niners have a tier 1 defense in the league, probably top 3. Offensively, Brock Purdy, he gets flack for being a game manager, except he distributes the football to his playmakers. McCaffrey, Debo, Kittle had a full week of rest, actually two weeks. So they're going to be good to go. And I think the Niners put the bank thing on Green Bay. I think the Niners will destroy Detroit or Tampa either way. And I think we're hurtling towards another Ravens-Niners Super Bowl. And also I think this time the Ravens come out on top yet again in that matchup. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a good time, man. But your thoughts are thoughts. Recapping Super Wildcard Weekend, looking ahead to the divisional round. Your thoughts are thoughts. Let us know in the comment section below. You know what to do. Skol, production value.